Ho ho, boardies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth, and this is Vicky.
Hello.
We're back playing the letter. We're with, who do we call him? Ron Weasley?
Malfoy.
And Malfoy. It says Luke is dressed to the nines as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. So now we're at the point of view of Anna, who is part of the couple that bought the house, the haunted house.
Her name's Hannah, though, isn't it?
I think her name's... Well, they pronounce it Anna, and I think it's either... Oh, I think you're right. I think it is Hannah. That seems like... Yeah, you're right. There she is. And her relationship... Oh, look, it's quite low. We did that.
Yeah, he's the boss, isn't he?
Yeah. So this is now gone back in time to Luke and Hannah's apartment just before they decide to buy the house.
We're going back in time.
That's right. His butler and valet wait at his side just in case he isn't as ready as he looks.
Doesn't it normally narrate?
It does, but not when it's the narrator. When they speak, yeah.
I've just forgotten. It feels like
Yeah.
it's been about 18 years.
Oh, sure. That's normal. What's confusing me is the fact that he's on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
She's whiny.
Yeah, she's very...
I am to attend the Triad Autumn tasting.
He sounds
I do
just like
believe I informed
Malfoy.
you of this 2 weeks ago.
You mudblood.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule?
She's
Because one, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol.
she's had a bit of a stumble, but she's back to her looking down at people voice.
And two, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place.
I think we know where that
I
is, don't we?
even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
She got the name right there.
Hmm.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this.
You're going to Wales?
And for the sake of
This
the
is like
VOD.
that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere.
You called that just before we started. You said it was too loud, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know how I operate,
I'm a
Hannah.
genius.
Unless this was penciled
Yeah,
in, I am
Hannah.
sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis.
There's a bit of I'm sure there was like a Frenchness about that. There's like a Z madam.
That's German, isn't it?
Isn't
But he's
it
supposed to be Danish, isn't he? Because
Right,
the
okay.
name, Johannes,
Johannes? Your Highness.
sounds a
Is that
bit like
pun?
Your Highness.
Hmm.
I don't know whether you spoke then. I wiggled.
I said the same thing. I said it sounds like Your Highness.
I'm wearing glasses and headphones, the biggest headphones in the world ever, 2024. And I don't like wearing headphones. I don't know why. They're like a shock to the system. It's all very overwhelming when you have headphones on. But anytime I wiggle myself, the headphones just go in my ear and I'm completely deaf. Do you not have that at all? Like every time I turn my head, they creak against my glasses.
Yeah.
So it's just like rub that on your when it's over your ear.
Was it just because I don't have glasses on that I don't have it? It
It's
doesn't
just
fit.
constant.
I think it's probably those ones are more noise cancelling, so maybe that is a downside of that.
Sometimes I feel like I'm actually inside the game, and that's a real jolt to the system.
Sometimes you get lost in there and we can't get you back.
Yeah.
And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Alright.
Bollocks, I don't remember doing so.
Bollocks.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
Who is this? Is this our butler?
This is
Got
Johannes.
gloves.
Yeah, he does have butler gloves to commit crimes. He did commit crimes. Moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
and I want to buy this house.
Fine. I am
Gordon
giving this house
Bennett.
of yours a chance.
That's what all us British people say constantly.
Yeah.
And this is what it's like with me and you, isn't it? And I'm like, please, you promise that
Like,
we
Gordon
could do
Bennett.
something this weekend together.
Fine.
You're like, I'd rather be getting drunk.
I'd rather have my third party this weekend.
But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home.
Yeah,
Okay.
He said, all right.
Are we clear?
Because I love Cardiff. Just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their
If you
arguments.
spoke to me like that,
Yeah, I know.
I'd stab you in the face. You allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Get
yeah.
a really big knife and
You-
I'd
I
stick
think
it
you can
right
say that.
in. So
As
it
long as
pierced your
you,
brain.
yeah, as long as you say that and then say it in Minecraft, it's fine. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye.
People know that before.
Yeah. Yeah, but maybe these guys were like a shotgun wedding situation.
Right.
Perhaps
Oh God,
it has
does
been
that mean
for
she's
years.
pregnant and her father is forcing him to marry
Yeah,
her?
and Johannes is the father. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at. 7 years.
I
No,
just
it's a
7-year
7-year
itch.
itch.
agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the
We're really in
triad
sync
tasting.
today. Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements. And I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the triad
There's-
Christmas.
There is always.
And
There's always
that'll be
my
an
way
hour and a
out.
half drive.
What's,
So we
um,
are in England then.
We are, yeah. Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes,
Yes.
but Cardiff.
Oh, it's so magical, Cardiff.
Have you been? It's simply wonderful. Certainly. Any problem can be discussed,
I mean, my family live in Cardiff. It's not that fucking great.
as long as he doesn't turn me away.
I mean, it's
Well,
fine.
there goes my good mood.
There goes my boner.
Are you happy now, Hannah?
Defend myself.
No.
No? Well, I guess... Do we want to be on good terms with Luke to stop him from potentially dying later?
No, I'm fine if he dies.
Okay, cool. Then we'll defend ourselves. You think?
Yeah, go on then.
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for one
Oh, it went up?
very long time, we are
Oh, he
doing
likes
what
that
I
kind of thing, I
want.
guess.
I'm ecstatic. Understood? And this would be perfect if you stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed. We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengarde.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
We're taking Mum.
Tour.
Needless to say, Luke looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He opened and closed his mouth a few times, like a fish, struggling to reply before he crossed his arm to look
hang on,
like...
that means the oh my god mansion is in England. I thought we'd established we weren't in England.
When did we do that, though?
I can't remember, but I'm sure we realised we weren't in England.
Well, whatever you thought was canon, it was that we were in England. That's now the new canon. Well, a moping child.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
Yeah, Johannes.
No
Any more?
wine.
No wine. Unacceptable! I am already not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that
Jesus
simple pleasure.
Christ. See a counsellor, mate.
I'm warming to Luke. I think he's funny.
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Johannes.
So he's just a raving alcoholic.
Yeah.
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor.
The ride to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him.
Well, I mean, this does not look like England.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's exactly what it's like in England. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologise for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrived at the mansion, and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest. Apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with the
Oh my god.
mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated and, with a little bit of love and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. And the number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxbourne.
Well, Luxbourne isn't in England?
Where is it?
I don't know. It sounds German.
It does a bit. Maybe it's in England. Certainly did not disappoint, making this estate as prime property.
I thought we were in, like, nondescript Europe.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe as well, but Belize are amongst the group who went with the Rose Woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them,
made up, but it's just not England.
it's a world where Luxbourne and Cardiff are conveniently close together, so wherever that is. The Wrights are interested in buying. Oh. Bad
Achievement
blood.
unlocked. Bad blood.
Oh.
Go to profiles.
Honor.
Oh no.
I don't want to read all that.
This is already dry as fuck if you ask me.
What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. What is her
A bike?
problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she's scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalise the sale. Then she's panicking over some sort of prank letter or another. The second thing on my mind is how touchy my darling husband is being towards the poor dear.
Because your darling husband is an absolute prick.
He's a monster. I cannot even plaster a smile on my face, a horrid scowl taking its place.
It's just how you are when we come across new women.
I am, yeah. Guilty as charged. There is no way I can pretend nothing is wrong as I hum.
And I'm sure little Lily here would certainly appreciate it if you remove your pretty hands from her, darling.
I would never say that in public, by the way. If you were groping some girl, I wouldn't humiliate you. I mean, I'd remove you from her so she didn't have to put up with that, but I wouldn't make it her fault.
No, of course
I'd
not.
privately take you out and then stab you in the face with that big knife.
Do you think that Hannah's blaming
Well, I don't know. It's
in
just
this
like
moment?
embarrassing.
It is a
isn't
bit
it?
embarrassing when it doesn't need
Like
to
when
be
your
because it's not her
Mum
fault.
was saying to me, "Oh, and I'm sure your father should take off his hands off Vicky and all that." And it was that was really awkward.
It was really awkward that time my dad was manhandling you.
Like, it was bad enough that his hands were on my breast
Yeah.
without
That's the
everyone
worst place you
knowing
could have
about
put
it.
them. He's quick enough to detract his hand, as was my dad, which is all that girl needs to, well, for a lack of a better word, escape.
Oh, so maybe.
I think I need to step out for a while.
So
I'll be back.
it's interesting that Isabel barely noticed the creepiness of Luke in her version of events because she was so wrapped up by the letter.
She did?
But her nervousness here is about the letter, isn't it?
Yeah, but also she did not like him. That was
No.
She was like, he's a creep.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but we're perceiving it as being, oh, she doesn't like how Luke's treating her. Her partner follows, shouting after her without hesitation. There's an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor daft girl, and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman, Rose, to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. She's dead
She's
now.
dead. Dead Rose.
Yeah.
The Dead Rose by any other name.
Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologise to her as well. But the woman refuses, saying she's not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke. The last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella.
She's not the one that's Irish, is she? It's the other one, isn't it?
Well, the one that's Irish and Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's been under a lot of pressure lately.
Scottish.
She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Oh, it's fine. The poor girl must feel so embarrassed about what she just did.
Right, okay, so she does blame her.
But I say, let bygones be bygones. After all, she's only a child.
I think
She
she's
looked,
just trying
what, 19?
to man feel like shit about the
Yeah,
fact that
maybe.
he's a giant pervert.
Yeah. I shoot Luke an
Yeah.
accusing look at these words. Yeah, you're right. I shoot to Luke an accusing look at these words. After all, he tried flirting with the girl. The nerve of him. And not only that Isabel girl, but also Marianne and Rose too. What kind of husband would think it's even remotely a good idea to make moves on 3 different women while his wife stands there?
Yeah, Gareth, what kind of a husband?
I don't think it's that big a deal. Did he drink whilst I wasn't looking?
She's a bit older than that.
I think it's fine.
But again, I apologize. And if there's any way I can make up for what just happened...
Do we get
Just-
to play as Rose and die?
I don't know.
I know what you can do. Be a darling flower and get us one of those bottles you plan to serve.
Jesus wept.
Pop it open.
We were planning on serving some champagne. I can get that.
That would be lovely. Much obliged.
Do you want a glass as well, Ms. Wright?
He looks too young to be a alcoholic.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm fine.
All their ages are weird because they all look the exact same age.
Yeah.
And then they'll
I
say like
really
old man and
shouldn't
it's somebody
drink
who's
right
like
now.
30. Oh, she's pregnant.
Ooh. And Luke shouldn't be either. He's pregnant too.
And maybe she's not pregnant, she's just saying that because Luke shouldn't be drinking.
Yeah, maybe. But right now, I'm just too tired for any sort of argument. I don't have the heart to scold him in public as well. I am certainly not his mother.
Hmm.
I just want to get this horrid day done with. Go home and sleep. Perhaps I'll even have a strong cuppa before I head off to bed. Yes, that sounds nice. When Rose comes back with the champagne, I beckon her over. As I've told her partner before, I have every intent of acquiring this house. I might as well even, if I'm having second thoughts about getting it for Luke.
So is she the one with the money?
I guess so. The moment we, the Wrights, had expressed interest in this place, we've had eyes set on us. If we don't buy it, that might as well be the signal to have busybodies gossip about how we may or may not have lost our fortune.
Well, you just didn't like the house.
Yeah. Regardless of the fact that it's false, image is everything when dealing with those people. These are the
Imagine
unspoken
if I was
rules.
like, Gareth, we have to buy this house, otherwise people will think we don't have any money.
People will talk.
But we don't like it. If we don't buy it, people will think we're skint.
That's what you said about the
Fine.
second car. These are
Now
these
we
are the
have 7
unspoken-
houses.
We own the whole street. These are the unspoken rules for people such as ourselves. And besides, I really did like the place. Why, everything
Why,
here is absolutely
But
wonderful.
we're still in it.
Well, except for this ugly painting in the study. Oh my god. Yeah, that is pretty
I'd
ugly.
be so made up if when we were viewing a house, somebody had that on the wall.
Yeah, why hasn't anybody pulled this down?
Because it's not real.
It looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting.
No, it doesn't.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price. and
Why
we
do you
can
need to
sign
do
all the
this?
paperwork now.
Just buy it at its normal price. Like, if you're worried about it not being the right house.
She's like just screaming, I'm rich, I'm rich,
Yeah.
I'm rich. Don't you know that I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich?
And tell everybody that I did that, please.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent
Did
to
not
you so you
think
can
anyone
look
would
over
want to
them.
buy this house.
Ever.
And
It's been
if you'd
years of
still
us
like
trying to
finish
sell
the
it
rest of
after
the
all.
tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
So will the house like possess him and make him kill her?
Maybe. A la The Shining.
All right. Should I let Marianne in then?
Marianne? Oh, right. She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? Yeah. Wasn't there a thing about Marianne having some relationship with Luke and...
Well, it was because they knew each other, but
Yeah.
she didn't know. And he didn't mention just then when we were like, I found an interior designer. And she got the name wrong and it seemed on purpose. But now we're here, it seems like it might not be on purpose. She just said Marianne and she said Marianne.
Right, okay. Yeah, because we saw her sidle up to Luke and act like she didn't know her that well on the first time we saw this. Is that what you're talking about?
No. So, Marianne, whatever her name is, she was like, Luke, this is the interior designer. And Luke was like, oh, I know Marianne. And Marianne's like, yeah, kind of.
Right, okay.
And she was all like, weird.
Yeah. Like, we smell an affair.
I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
No, it
Seems
wouldn't.
like he wants to fuck everything.
I need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension, and the music changes when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moments that she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
You should know.
Oh, is a meeting really all that
Yeah.
necessary,
I do an
Marianne?
excellent Scottish accent.
That's true. If you're interested, to go check out our playthrough of Ace Attorney, where Phoenix is Scottish.
And I'm
I guess we can send Johans to help you out.
Johans?
You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
A hush falls upon the room at my request.
What painting?
Ha ha ha! You called it. And lo and behold, the painting is gone, but just an empty frame. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Aw, she's got really low self-esteem.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
Because of course she appears in Reflections, doesn't she, the ghost?
Yeah. Yes.
Or perhaps maybe I should. Should we free up the schedule to
Yeah.
hang out?
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
Yes.
Yeah, let's fuck Marianne.
Yeah, I think we should.
We should start by calling her by the right name as well, I reckon.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't really need another maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day.
Jesus Christ.
What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher priority over book club. No shit. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern-day writers could match up to the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the oh my god, or rather the Wrights Mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organise them myself.
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then. It's a date.
It's really not.
All right. Monday. 10 o'clock.
Weird
It's a
shall we?
weird
thing to
reaction,
say.
yeah.
No, it's just a turn of phrase.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.
I guess Marianne is lesbian for Anna, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Actually, Mary Ann suggested that we meet at 9, but who is even awake at that unholy hour? I was lucky enough to wake up this morning, before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. We say our goodbyes.
Looks a lot like our house, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what our house looks like.
Only yours got an extra floor and some more building on the side.
Don't add any more detail because you'll be doxing us. We say our goodbyes, shake hands and make it clear without outright saying it's that we now own this house. Have I said that wrong?
We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear without right saying.
Oh, okay, cool, I get it.
We now own this house.
By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then?
I mean,
That's
you're
a
not
bit
there.
of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
Why does he look so evil all the time?
He does look evil.
Well, I'm glad you're not complaining like you usually do.
We're so in love.
It's a right and proper Christmas miracle, isn't it? Hannah has finally done something right.
I refuse to look at him, staring at the passing
What on
scenery
earth
instead.
did she mean by it's a right and proper Christmas miracle, isn't it? Was that supposed to show that she's not really posh?
I don't know.
Hey,
Right and
Buttercup,
proper.
What's with this cheek?
Rose, Lily, Mint. The nerve,
Mint.
Luke, the nerve!
Who's Mint?
Mary Ann. Like she's got her name so wrong. She's calling her Mint.
Is that what this is about? One, that woman's name was Rose. And two,
that's
you
right.
know I don't mean a word of that.
Yeah, she
empty
definitely did.
flirting.
Rose, Lily, Mint.
Her name was Rose.
And it's still the principle of things, Luke.
It's humiliating.
I understand if you try to woo them to get what you want when it seems that I'm not looking. But I told you once before not to do it when I'm there.
Luke dealt with other women in the past to get what he wanted.
Sounds like he did definitely fuck them.
Sometimes I have my doubts. I really want to believe that I am an exception, that he is not just using me like how he used those other girls. I'm having a hard time believing that now.
So
And it isn't just the shameless flirting. There's something about that Mary Ann woman, as if Luke is familiar with her. As much as it shames me, it makes jealousy rear its ugly head.
she seems to genuinely not realise she's getting her name wrong.
Yeah. I'm, suffice to say, ticked off.
This is how
Really?
all British
I
people
forfeit my trip to Cardiff for this, and you're still not happy.
use such an evil voice.
Oh, trust me, Luke. I
Oh.
am very happy.
My God, this is
Very
the same line.
For once, we are doing something that I want. Can you not see the smile on my face?
It is only when I let loose those words that the truth hits me like a slap on the face. And by the looks of it, it seems to have the same effect on my dear, darling husband. It has always been Luke wants to do this and Luke wants to do that, hasn't it? I don't even remember the last trip we went to, which was of my own choosing, without needing to get this man's approval, the man's approval. On the other hand, I was pulled along to every single expedition he wished to tackle, and I never objected. The rest of the ride home is spent ignoring each other, pretending the other didn't exist. Arriving at our penthouse, my first order of business is to get into bed.
Cup of tea, though. Oh, really been a tough day for her.
Yeah. Forget a hot bath and forget the tea. Isn't that weird that you said that just now?
Yeah, that's why I said, oh, it's really been a tough day.
Yeah.
So she said, forget the tea.
I just want to bury myself in blankets and forget everything in my slumber. She has just bought
She
a
needs
house.
a weighted blanket.
Yeah.
That's what people say makes them feel better. Doesn't make me feel better. I hate it.
Okay, well, if you're going to buy Vicky a present, don't get her a weighted
No.
blanket.
No thanks.
It seems that Luke has the same idea in mind as he tags along behind me, bobbing up and down as he does. But this is something I will not allow the moment I pass through the door.
Out.
What the bloody hell, woman? This is my bedroom too!
Two!
Really does sound like Malfoy.
Luke stands, flabbergasted, as I deny him entry into our chambers. His pillows lie on the cold tiled floors away from the warmth of our soft, down bed, and my gaze promises him the same fate if he does not budge on this matter.
Don't
Okay.
even try to argue, because I am very cross with you,
I
Luke
just
Wright.
to sleep on the sofa instead
Yeah,
of
this
the floor.
huge sofa.
You can take the second bedroom or the guest room if you wish, but I do not want to see you at all for the rest of the night.
Johans!
Our butler wanders over, a curious expression on his face.
Put him with his fist up.
Yeah, he's going to punch him.
He'd beat us.
He doesn't quite hurry, moving at a relaxed pace no matter how angry his master sounded.
No, you are not allowed to sleep in my room, sir.
We cannot share the same bed.
That's not what I mean. Help me talk some sense into her.
There is no sense in questioning
There.
her right to be angry, sir.
That is no sense.
The European is only reserved for the TH sound, isn't it?
So, if I might be excused, I'll go prepare the second bedroom for you.
I have to keep a straight face as he stomps away in defeat.
Hang on, the wrong
Mutiny.
person.
This is
Oh.
mutiny.
No, but I think that Luke stomped away from the bedroom to
Yeah.
the other one.
I know, but the stomp happened when the butler walked
Yeah,
away.
that's true.
The system is being upturned, and the people are rioting, and everything is left asunder.
It isn't every day that Luke is rendered speechless by someone he considers inferior, or to yield to another authority without an ulterior motive. His pride just won't allow it. I do keep telling the man to treat his people better.
Why did she marry him?
He may throw whatever fit he wants, but he will not be getting his way tonight. Maybe he was a completely different man 7 years ago.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Hey! Victorious, I celebrate by jumping face first onto our bed. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
No matter how soft your bed is.
Also, you'd have to like kick your legs up to
Yeah,
make sure
like
they're
really
behind
plant
you.
yourself face first. Undignified, yes, but nobody is here to judge me anyway.
Can you go face first into our bed after this?
I'll try it. Right? Nobody is here to tell me what to do.
That's right, babe. Sit back, masturbate, do what you like.
Yet as I succumb to sleep, I can hear them whisper to me.
Oh, I'm not sure it's them. I think it's up here.
I can hear them whispering.
Pass on it over.
Help me.
Why would they be whispering, help me?
Calling for me. They want me. Oh, it's Marianne. Need me.
What's Marianne?
Isn't that the one that we thought might have the hots for her?
Oh,
They
I see.
drown me, pull me down, and suffocate me in their embrace.
We find out that Marianne is a medium.
Did we? That sounds really familiar, but I don't know.
I know it feels familiar, but then I was like, well, when did that happen?
Yeah. Maybe.
When we met her in the park.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe that came across, but why would she be saying that?
Well, she met up with the. Well, I can't remember.
I mean, if it turns out that Marianne is a medium, I think that only proves that you're a medium.
I thought we'd already proved that.
We have done.
I have visions all the time.
Yeah.
I'm having one right now.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, it's about the royal family, so I don't think I should share.
No.
I need to respect their privacy.
Yeah, you do. Just release a couple of Photoshop pictures instead. They drown me, pull me down, and suffocate me in their embrace until I sink to the bottom. A deep abyss awaits, inviting yet foreboding. Inviting yet foreboding. That's funny. They're calling to me from in there, aren't they? And I do want to help. I do. But when I try to reach out, something pulls me back like a hook sinking itself into my stomach. Ah! And I break through the surface with a gasp.
You would have screamed more, but you turned around just as it was happening.
Yeah, I know.
He screams all the time. He gets really frightened. So I want us to play that game where you sneak. But you don't have weapons. What's it called?
Um.
It's not Outlast.
Oh, the new one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I think it might be an Outlast sequel or something.
Oh, I don't know. But I want us to
We'll
play
do that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow.
You will scream your face off. I don't know whether it's been released yet.
Oh, well, we'll check that out and we'll deal with that. We'll deal with it. We'll have our butler deal with that. Alone in bed and without Luke to hog the covers like a pig. Like, you know. Say,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah. I'm swathed in cloth
Real good
and
one, that.
slicked with sweat.
We should do stand-up.
Thank you. It takes me a while to untangle myself and kick them all off. Both the bed and I are a right mess. Oh, we're a right mess after that scare. By the end of it all. And I'm more than eager to just get up and go out for some fresh air.
They do have a balcony.
Yeah, but is she going to fall off it?
Snit hits him.
October the 26th, Wednesday. The days past had gone by a blur. We hadn't talked much, Luke and I, outside of necessity. In fact, we've hardly talked about beyond the topic of acquisitions of properties. Properties being the mansion, obviously. Everything has been so busy that I haven't talked to anyone outside of business, and it's just so stressing.
Being rich is so stressing.
So one can understand my need for a good chat, preferably over a good meal. There are times when any decent, emotionally healthy and socially capable person need a good friend. One who will talk to them without the conversation degrading or turning into an argument.
Jesus, imagine if everyone you're surrounded by...
Or barring a nearby friend, I have an interior designer under a confidentiality agreement to listen to me.
Hey, that's even weirder.
That is. Why didn't we hear Luke?
Because he's in another room instructing workmen by the
Oh, okay. The place is bustling with movers, carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. So this is going to be the day that Rose dies, potentially? Because they've bought the house now, right?
Well, she might already be dead, like this woman at care.
Yeah. Barely on our radar. I can hear Luke barking at them in the other room, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now!
Careful now!
I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Oh my god, somebody spoke to me like that.
Oh my god. Like, I can't imagine that there are people like that.
Yes, there are.
And yeah, there probably are. It's hard to tune them out. The walls did not do a good job of muffling him at all. That's
Cheap
it, I'm
house.
selling the house.
Shit house.
But then again, it is Luke. He really screams at people. I would still hear him ranting even if we were on the opposite sides of the mansion. And I'm wearing earplugs.
I'd really like to thank you for inviting me to breakfast, Mrs. Wright.
Oh, you're here. Marianne.
But
Oh, hang on. Is her name Marianne or Marion?
So
Marion?
It is Marion.
work.
That's funny.
Nonsense! You arrived so early. You must not have gotten a proper meal. Our butler has made a surprisingly lovely bubble and squeak.
You'll love that.
Sit.
Is Bubble and Squeak a
sit.
breakfast thing?
I'd situate us in the dining hall, but it is a
An
mess right
anytime
now.
thing.
Okay.
Oh, Johans!
Oh, yeah.
The man in question appears, ready with a tray as he starts to set the table for us. We sit in silence as we are each served a plate. Bubble and Squeak topped by a nicely poached egg, with cherry tomatoes and other garnishes adorning the edges of the plate.
I would eat that right now.
Looks pretty good.
Give me.
A cup and saucer with a teapot, with some Earl Grey is placed down for Marianne, and
Marianne.
I ask for an orange Julius. What is
How
that?
are you liking the
Juliet.
project?
It might be champagne and orange juice.
Oh, okay.
Drop that vase and I'll have your head.
On a spike!
I know it's only
Pike.
8 million yen vase, but...
Yen. That's another reason why it's not
Yeah.
England.
I'm sure they've mentioned yen before.
Yeah, I knew that there was a reason why
Well,
I thought.
it's certainly a fun challenge, incorporating the designs
It's
of a
gonna be
Japanese
because
manor and the functionality of a modern
It's
household.
Japanese and the translation didn't consider... But even so, you'd still call it... whatever.
I have ideas I would like to suggest, by the way, about what to use the second bedroom for.
Alright.
I have been informed of your goddaughter and thought a kid-friendly room might be in order.
You read my mind. I was actually
Yeah.
going to bring that up.
We don't know about that, do we?
Oh, that would just be so lovely, Marianne. That way, Kylie can bring
Rebecca.
her friends over as well. And a good friend of mine, Rochelle, is expecting a baby. So, why don't we think about putting a crib in there too?
Because your friend is having a baby. You say what? Bring their baby round to sleep the night.
Yeah. Stay there for a few months.
Sounds a bit
I
like
can just
you want a
imagine
nursery.
little ones running around, filling this place with the pitter-patter of their feet. We'd have to make sure they don't trip and fall on the stairs, though.
We won't be able to finish everything up until after the party. But we'll have it ready by then, so that all we need to do is to move in the furnishings.
Awesome.
Yes, that's plenty fine. It's not like
Plenty
we're in a hurry
fine.
to have it. And we wouldn't want the workers to disturb the guests or the other way around, do we?
Would we?
Just make sure it's presentable. You know, in case a guest snoops about.
Of course. As for the kitchen you wanted, I've already negotiated for the high-end stoves and the hot and cold drawers, so on and so forth.
Etc.
I've got a friend who is able to customize them so that they'll look like the counters we'll be replacing and fit the rest of the interior. They'll be bringing them in today.
Why can't you people do anything right? Don't drag it. You'll scratch the wood.
Yeah, I'd-
Excellent.
He should be just paying people more so they don't do that.
But no, really,
That's
how
not
have you
how
liked it so
rich
far?
Like that type of rich person.
No.
Not
It's
all.
been wonderful.
Not all rich people.
Everything is going smoothly too. It has been a long time since I've worked on something on this grand a scale. Nowadays, everyone is about condos and flats, living in the city where every room is an identical box. Believe me, this is very refreshing.
We lived in a condo before this, Marianne.
Yeah, but you left
I
it.
didn't mean any insult.
It's fine, sweetie. Look at you, all frazzled. I was just pulling your leg. Luke wanted that penthouse when we got married, and you can thank him for purchasing this place as well.
She looks confused. Of course, she has every right to be. She no doubt overheard me push the estate agent into the sale, making quite the aggressive offer. She saw me sign the papers for the mansion as well. I just had to scoff.
Don't be fooled. I'm just the treasury. I wouldn't be able to make a purchase this grand without his seal of approval.
I see.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yes.
These
it
people do
wouldn't be
not talk
appropriate to
like
comment
normal
further.
people, do they?
No,
It is unprofessional.
it is.
Unprofessional.
I can't help but let out a deep sigh as I stick a fork into the dish. Just through the dish. I didn't want professional. I want someone who will either agree with me, even if it's just for the sake of agreeing, or someone who will try to talk some sense into me. Neutral responses are so boring. There was no discourse in the middle ground.
The food is good. Best bubble and squeak.
Pay staff to be a friend.
No, you can't.
Of course it
That's what I
is.
keep telling you.
Our kitchen staff only uses the freshest
Leave
hand-picked
our cleaner
ingredients.
alone.
I just think
Only
that
the
it would
best
be
for the
nice.
rights.
Anyway, she'll never be your friend. Do
Mr. Wright is not joining us.
you want him to? You heard him
No,
screaming at
He's
everyone.
far too busy bossing people around. He even
Around.
refused to join me for breakfast earlier. Hence, this.
I see. My apologies. I really don't know what sort of response you expect to get from me.
There is the clatter of silverware as I slam my hands on the table. It is frustrating. I am frustrated. At Luke mostly.
Oops.
But Marianne's neutral, professional answers,
Said her name right there.
she did, yeah, are certainly irksome as well.
You're a human with feelings and opinions.
Is it
aren't
possible
you?
that it's purely a mistranslation, and every time it's wrong, it's an accident on the translator?
No, I think that she corrected her a couple of times back when
Oh,
we
yeah,
were
that
doing
might
the
be
other
right.
woman.
Don't give me this bollocks about being professional when we're having a nice friendly chat over a nice and friendly breakfast. I can only talk
Stay nice
about
and friendly
interior
more, why
designs for
don't
so
you?
long, and I detest one-sided conversations, Marianne.
But
Marianne.
I really don't know what to say, Mrs. Wright. We were talking of no topic in particular, and
Luke. We were talking about Luke.
about him not eating breakfast with you.
About him treating me as if I were some treasury.
I didn't realise that I shouted that out loud until it's too late. Uh-oh. He's behind me, isn't he? There's a stunned silence that settled before I slumped back into my seat. Hiding my face behind my hands, I can feel my shoulders shake.
Right.
Oh, breathe. I told myself, calm down. But it's just so hard.
Honestly,
Don't
sometimes I
Well, this
feel
is
like
the
he
new
doesn't love me
angle.
anymore.
It is,
New-
isn't
new
it?
vibe.
I didn't imagine them sitting next to each other. I imagined them opposite each other.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, have I been so blind? Did he ever love me at all? Was our marriage all for the sake of saving his company and his wealth?
Leave him.
Because?
Did I say all that out loud? Again.
What do you mean again?
Well, this is not the first time it's happened, I'm guessing. No, this is bad. Unacceptable. It has been rumoured before, the real reason for our engagement. But if anyone were to know of this... Marriages of necessity to carry on political and financial power used to be a common thing, but the Evans-Wright union is the perfect happily ever after. Was supposed to be. It is true that we first met each other in order to discuss dealings, to make the then failing Wright Enterprise a subsidiary for Evans Incorporated. But I do remember being in love with
Reminds
him.
me of Sims music.
Does it? And there were times when he said he loved me back.
Just times.
Even if I'm not sure of what the truth is now.
Girls, boys, if you're with somebody and you've said you love them,
And
and
only
they're not saying it
sometimes
back, or they say thank you, or they say they're not ready yet,
get out of there.
yeah, look them up.
Either way, I do not want the right name or
Unless
the
it's
Evans
like
name.
a really legitimate reason for them to not be ready yet. Like,
Yeah,
you've
like
just
the...
got some poor woman who's just been divorced, or a man who's just in an abusive relationship, and you were like the shoulder to cry on, and then you took advantage of that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be
Became
love
their
bombing
partner.
anyone
Stop
either.
doing that.
We don't agree with love bombing. do
Also,
we?
if you've been going out with somebody for like months and you're not in love with them yet, then you're probably not going to be, so you should stop going out with them.
That's
so
probably
they
a
can find
sign.
someone good.
Well said. Either way, I do not want the right name or the Evans name.
And we're experts because we've been together.
It's too many years that we can even say.
How long have we been together?
14 years now.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
We've really been together for 14 years.
Yeah.
Jesus. Have we really?
Yeah, it's upsetting, isn't it? It's our second 7-year itch.
Oh, is that why I feel this way?
Yeah, probably. Either way, I do not want the right name or the Evans name dragged through the mud
14
because of a
years?
slip-up. I know. Should we threaten
Ask.
her? And if Marianne so much as talked of this... I nearly clicked that. Ask for her silence,
Have
was
to do
saying.
that slapping you in the face again?
Again. So many scars.
What? See what it did to our relationship.
Marianne is a good sort, isn't she? Yay, it's plus.
We're gonna get down and dirty.
Get down dirty.
Come on now, get down dirty.
So far, she's been reasonable and accommodating, even towards Luke's ridiculous requests.
Yeah, because she shagged Luke at some point.
Patient and professional. Did it only extend to business, I wonder? Or would she be able to understand that things like this are not as simple, not as clean, as they are painted to be? Certainly, I can talk to her. Ask for her...
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright.
Ah.
Not only am I contractually obliged to, it would also go against my principles. This is no one else's business but your own, and it should be kept between the two of you. And whoever you wish to seek counsel from.
Please, Marianne.
I'm also a part-time
You have
therapist.
to understand. These sort of affairs, if anyone were to know this, they could just twist it and we'll be ruined. All I
Ruined
ask
in
for
what
is your
context, though?
silence on the matter.
Yeah. I guess it's just that important.
If I am to be frank, Mrs. Wright, this isn't new for me. You
You're
aren't
all
the
like
first,
this.
and you certainly won't be the last to have complicated dealings. Unless what you're doing is illegal, I turn a blind eye.
Can I trust her?
Yes.
If I wasn't in the same boat, I'd be trying to pry those secrets and gossip with you about them by now.
No.
Well, I'm keeping that information confidential as well.
It's not like I have any other choice, do I?
Blackmailer.
Thank you.
Lock her in the basement. We continued to eat our meal in peace, finishing the last of the food and drink. When the door to the parlour opened, Marianne and I were just sitting in silence.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
He's my favourite character. I gave him nothing but a small nod.
This was a wonderful meal, Marianne. You're free to return to your duties.
Duty.
I must excuse myself.
It was my
I thought so.
pleasure. And thank you for the food as well.
Making my way downstairs, I look back and see Marianne give me a nod and a small smile. That certainly put me in lighter spirits. An interview with Luxury Living. That's today, isn't it?
I mean, literally what you said.
Yeah. Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted we could acquire the property in no time and allowed a photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there were complications and it took longer than it usually does for us. Hopefully I won't have any other unfortunate slip-ups with someone who isn't bound by confidentiality. Done! That's another episode of Borderline Games.
What happened? I suppose some things happened.
Some things happened. We saw a painting that wasn't a painting.
Yeah.
We think that maybe Hannah and Marianne are going to have a thing.
No, I keep thinking that. I think this will just be all very hetero.
Well, you never know.
It's pretty heteronormative as it is, really.
It may surprise you.
Well, it's been... This is supposed to be one of the best horror visual novels.
Yeah.
Guys, all you guys watching, would you give it so far out of 10?
Yeah, what do you guys
What'd you
think?
rate it?
Would it get a 3? Would it get an 8? And all the other numbers?
I currently would give it maybe 3.5, 4.
Whoa, I didn't think you'd go that low.
Oh, really? What would
I
you
think
give it?
like a 6.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's interesting that we have different opinions on it. We'll see. Maybe my rating will get higher when
Maybe.
it goes on.
Yeah.
Right now, if we didn't, I don't feel compelled enough to follow through to see what happens.
I think that Hannah might leave Luke for Marianne.
If that happens, I'll put it up to a 4.
Okay, cool. So fingers crossed that happens. All right, we'll see you guys later. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you.
Love
Bye.
you too. Bye-bye.